Go. We're back. Okay. Sam Kerr. For those of you who do not know, she is a striker. She is Australian. She plays for Chelsea. She is a fantastic goal scorer, had a phenomenal World Cup, has had a phenomenal career thus far. Take a look at her stats on Transfer Market or Wikipedia if you happen to have the time. But she, again, plays for Chelsea, and Chelsea were out in, I think it was Dubai or some sort of tropical location for their winter training camp. And she tore her ACL during that time. And again, the ACL is a structure within the knee that allows the knee to be nice and stable. But before we go ahead and analyze her injury, what we are going to do is we're going to read the press release that Chelsea FC have put out regarding her injury, and we'll kind of analyze it from there. So, update on Sam Kerr. Chelsea Football Club can confirm striker Sam Kerr has sustained an ACL injury during our warm weather training camp in Morocco. Sam will be assessed by a specialist in the coming days and then begin her rehabilitation with the club's medical team. The Australia International signed for the Blues in 2019, and wow, what a goal scoring record. 199 goals in 128 matches. She played a pivotal role in 4 Women's Super League title wins, 3 FA Cup triumphs, 2 Women's League Cup victories, and the Women's Community Shield in 2020. Everyone at Chelsea will wish Sam the very best for her recovery. Well, if you guys haven't been following the women's game up to this point, one, you should really follow it. It's very interesting. The style of play from league to league is so different, and it's a spectacular thing to watch at times, to be completely honest. But the amount of ACL injuries that have been happening have been, frankly, concerning. For good reason, because it seems like every week there's another top player who tears their ACL, is out for 9 to 12 months. And what's really unfortunate is the fact that there are solutions to these types of injuries. And I'm speaking directly to the women's game and not necessarily the professional one, because chances are, if you're watching this stream, you're more involved in the grassroots level. And that's the population I'm speaking to here. People always ask the question, can you prevent ACL injury? And why does it happen so frequently in the women's game, especially in comparison to the men's game? And there is so much research on this topic already. There is a ton of research on this topic. Oh, let me show you. Let me show you exactly. And when I say research, I don't mean blogs. I don't mean articles. I mean hard scientific medical research. So this is PubMed. This is where, nerds like me go to, learn new things and find articles and things like that. If you look up women's ACL injury soccer, I bet you there's more than 1,000 articles that we'll get results from. Oh, we got 117. Look at all these. What's my risk of sustaining ACL injury while playing football, soccer? Making football safer for women, a systematic review. Knee injury patterns among men and women in collegiate basketball and soccer. ACL injury, differences between males and females. ACL ligament injury in elite football. Examining the dynamic nature of anterior cruciate ligament injury risk factors in women's collegiate soccer. If we take soccer out of it, I'm sure we'll get a ton more. There we go. Over 1,000 articles on this topic. Well, that brings us to the question of, if there's so much research on this topic already, then why do we still have this problem? Why do we still have this problem? And I can tell you, I haven't worked directly in the women's game, but I have worked around soccer for a good bit. What needs to happen is everything that you guys see in articles like this, in research programs like this, there over 1,000 over 117 on just women's ACL injury soccer alone. There are, and guys, these aren't little articles. These are not little articles. Let's open one of these up. A meta-analysis of injury prevention programs in 11,773. If you open things like this up, there's so much information, there's so much good advice, there's so much to be had. Look at all this. Does this look like a topic we need to learn more about? No. So what do we then need to do? Because we don't need more research on this. We really, really don't. What we need to do is start to translate some of this research directly into practice. We need to translate some of this research directly into practice. Well, what do we mean by that? Is the recommendations need to be communicated. I'm first. Let's talk to the different kind of stakeholders that are in this discussion right now. Um, we're going to talk about the physios. We're going to talk about the physios and the fitness staff. We're going to group them together. We're going to talk about the coaching staff, and we're going to talk about the players. And we'll also mention the parents, agents, yada, 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 people who may have an influence on the situation. Because when injuries like this happen, it needs to be addressed from every single possible aspect. So first, let's talk about the fitness and medical staff. These need to be given to coaches, players, and parents. The information that we get, the injury prevention programs that we get, need to be given to players, parents, and coaches in a manner that is digestible, in a manner that is understandable, in a manner where an athlete or a player or a coach or a parent can simply look at it and do it. That part of that is on us. The PDFs aren't enough. The let me send you an email of exercises with a sheet of exercises aren't enough. It needs to be in a method where it is foolproof, it cannot go wrong, and it just needs to happen and go. And then you can look at the coaching staff. Because I've worked with, and right now I'm blessed to work with amazing coaches, but in the past, I've spoken to coaches that aren't very receptive to things like this. They say injury prevention programs are a waste of time. Well, if that is you, you really have to take a hard look at yourself, because when an injury like this happens, you have to be reflective. And you have to think to yourself, did I do everything that is in my power to prevent this from happening? And if a physio or a strength coach gave you nothing at all, or they gave you nothing that is understandable to you, and it looks like medical jargon, then no, you can't necessarily be held accountable. But if it's the opposite, if you know what these programs can do and you make the conscious decision to not help your players, to not guide your team through it, then part of it is on you, not all of it, because again, we don't know everything. We can't say, not doing a warm-up, not doing your injury prevention is going to cause this injury, but you have to accept part of the responsibility. In fact, there is a program out there that is proven to reduce ACL injury by, what is it, like 30, 40, 50%? Let's Google it real quick. Let's get the number right. Because the program's called FIFA 11 Plus Injury Prevention Rate Reduction. The number is high. The number is high. The FIFA 11 Plus group had 23.6% of the players sustain injury, and the control group had a 40% injury rate. The authors found that the FIFA 11 Plus program reduced lower body injuries by 30%. By 30%. By 30%. That is a lot. That's 30% is a lot. Do you know why that program doesn't work? Because there is a paper on that too. Do you know why that program doesn't work? Because there is a paper on that too that has been studied. The number one reason why programs like that do not work is because the coaching staff does not implement them because they don't find value in it. That is, it's been studied. It's proven. It's proven. That is why. That is why. So after we look at the medical performance staff, did we give the information that is necessary to the necessary stakeholders, being the players, being the parents, being the coaching staff, because that's the most important? Then you can take a look at the player. Then you can take a look at the player. And then, of course, there are things that players can be held responsible for. Um, Coming on time for team warmups, having a good routine, this, that, whatever. But I think the players shouldn't necessarily be the focus of this. It should be the medical staff. It should be the fitness staff. It should be the head coaches. It should be the communication between the two, how that happens, if that happens. And this is different on every level of the game, right? If this happens at a rec club, it's totally different than happening, at a Champions League level club. It's completely different. It's completely different. But I think we're going to have to start. And I know Sam Kerr is kind of being used as an example here, and none of really what I'm saying is in direct kind of correspondence to her case. But the examples are clear. The pattern is there. We need to get these female athletes in the gym. We need to get them stronger. That's the other thing. Do your athletes, and this is a question for your coaches, this is a question for your club administrators. Do your athletes have access to a medical staff, to a performance staff, to a fitness staff? Are they doing these things? Maybe this should be the questions you are asking from club to club when you're picking which environment is right for you. This is important. It's the pattern is there. And I always see the tweets of, we need more research. We need more. No, we don't need more research. We have hundreds, thousands of articles that are telling us exactly what to do. And we have proof that says this is why it doesn't work. There is proof that says, if you do this, this will happen. If you do this, that will happen. And this doesn't happen because of this. It's all outlined. We just need to go and do it. We need to go and do it.